All right, so let me just ask, have you ever had someone genuinely try to push politics on you? Like get you to care about an issue that you don't necessarily care about? I mean, I'm kind of a unique case, I guess. I don't know how many people there are like me, but like this person tries to get you to like really give a shit about the issue and just shame you if you don't care. I don't know. But basically, about 2 weeks ago, my coworker was working outside, so I go out to join him to help, with the task. And 20 minutes, I'm quiet, I'm just a fly on the shoulder. Then he said, like, so what do you believe in? And it was conversation was something like that. We were talking about like politics. That's how it started getting into it. And I told him I'm apolitical. That's like I literally straight up said that. He's like, what do you mean? Like you don't pick a party? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, so you don't care about immigration? All these illegals coming in, killing people. And I'm like, I gave him some like half-witted answer about how I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I said. I said some weird like impartial answer, but also kind of agreeing with him, something like that. I don't know, but I told him like I don't vote, and then they shame me. They're like, "Wow," and it's such a, it really brought up something, and I've kind of been developing this belief system for about time. Some people may even say it's not even possible, but I am apolitical, and becoming apolitical really helped me like de-stress and just kind of fly by and make a lot of conversations easier. And it does kind of seem like a beta behavior. At the same time, though, it really does. I guess you could say friendships just flow smoother because of the fact that I just don't really give a fuck about what's going on around me, because I feel like the webs of people who do care will vote in a certain way that I vaguely agree with or maybe strongly agree with, to where it'll just life will work itself out. And I know that's cliche as fuck to say, but So for context, when I was 16, 17, 18, I used to be like loosely Republican. And then now that I've started kind of walking away from God, Jesus, or whatever, I find myself being a little more liberal. I mean, but if I had to choose a political party in my head, you could call me independent. It's kind of the scenario where if you were talking to a non-denominate or a Christian, and then you ask them, what denomination are you, and they say, oh, I'm non-denominational, it means they're a Baptist. If you ask a lot of religious people, that's, I've heard that from pastors, I've heard that off YouTube. It's a really funny joke, but that's kind of what they're said. They'll say, "Oh, I'm non-denominational, this or that," but realistically, their beliefs fall on Baptist, and that's the same thing. If someone says they're apolitical, really, what they're telling you is if they had to vote, they'd vote independent. But if you want to vote at all, right? Now, some people criticize it because I remember when I was reading a Wikipedia article on it, I got really interested in it. So there was a guy from ancient Greece who was a philosopher. I think his name is like Epicurus. I think he basically said that like because politics, I'm kind of paraphrasing from what I learned, because like politics cause a lot of stress, if you disengage in it, it kind of avoids a source of unnecessary stress. Although I think he'd be a little more engaged in politics. I haven't really read his readings that much. I'm just kind of going off the article, but I'm like so removed from it, guys. Like, and I can't tell you the stress of not having to vote. Just it feels so good because they're trying to be like, oh, especially around my town, there's a bunch of political signs. I mean, all around Maryland when you go, there's for local chambers, Baltimore County, whatever, right? There's all these names, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a flying fuck. Like it feels kind of funny to just know that, right? And they sent me a ballot in the mail. I mean, I threw it away, but honestly, I should have wiped my ass with it because fuck it, I don't really care. But it's not without its criticisms, because a lot of people say that, especially it was a dude named like a communist. His name was Antonio. He basically says that if you ignore the political nature of everyday life, like you become a neutral individual that makes a choice to ignore an impressive regime that comes in and silently, I guess, seizes power and will use. My dad says this is how it happened, because when I told him that I was starting to feel this way about politics, like I just didn't care, I didn't want to vote, aka apolitical, right? He would say like that's how the Mustache Man from 1940s that Kanye sung a song about. You know who I'm talking about. I'm just not going to say the name because I don't want to get shadow banned. I don't want this video to get restricted, whatever. You know how YouTube's AI is. But anyways, he told me that is how Mustache Man from 1940s got in power with a lot of people that just didn't really care about the direction of the politics that was going. I don't know how true that is if it's not. It's just something my dad told me. But even if that is true, if you think about it, and this is kind of like a very lazy mindset, but I don't really care because I already have enough stuff going on in my life, work, school, trying to be better at my job. I just, I'm busy with my own life stuff, right? To where if I just, my quote unquote share of the work, if I just leave it, then you know what? I don't have to pick up my slack. Someone else can pick up the slack of me voting because let's be completely honest, the way the political pendulum goes is it swings back and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? We had Obama, we had Trump, we had Biden, we had Trump again. And that's talking big politics, I know. But either way, local elections, governor elections, they're going to swing one way. We had Larry Hogan, we had Wes Moore, and who knows if we were going to have Wes Moore again. And I don't really care if Wes Moore stays in office. That's also the cool thing. So I was at a bonfire last night too, and my friend, I love him to death. He was just complaining about Wes Moore this, Wes Moore that. Oh, Moore's not gonna win. Fuck that guy. Talking about how he's raising taxes or registration or whatever. I don't I don't know if that's true or not. I do know registration for the GSXR did go up, so maybe that's a result of it, but I don't really fucking know. Maybe it was the Strait of Hormuz or inflation or all that bullshit. Who fucking knows, right? But people will get so far into it because I talked to my dad, and this was about like a year ago, kind of before I took on this whole apolitical mindset. I said like, "Yo, like if I have a friend," and I was kind of like, I was starting to let go of republicanism, but I was still like leaning right. And I told him like, "Yo, my friend." Who he does post a lot of like Democrat stuff on his story, liberal stuff, whatever, right? But I told him like outside of that, he is such a cool guy. And it doesn't matter if we disagree on politics, I'm still going to ride with him. And then my dad literally said, he's like, I appreciate that, or you, or I'm jealous, or not, I'm jealous of you. It's like, I give you pride in that, or something like that. He was giving me a pat on the back for that because he's like, I could not do that. And I just thought to myself, like, yo, it's literally just politics. Like, I mean, older people grew up in an era where their vote probably mattered a bit more or whatever. Maybe I don't know why, but I thought it was just weird. Like if you don't agree on something with someone, it's like who fucking cares? Just go on about your life. You just have a disagreement. I know. People would say, "Oh, it's life choices. Oh, it's abortions. Oh, it's trans rights. Oh, it's owning guns. This and that." I don't fucking know, dude. I really don't know. I mean, another reason why it'd be good to kind of disengage from politics is it can cost you your job if you get really emotional about it. So, a lot of people will take these stances on like super controversial opinions like abortion. Like we were just talking about, stuff like that, Roe versus Wade, all that bullshit, right? Do y'all remember when Charlie Kirk died and there were reports of people like getting mass reported to their employers because they were making fun of him after he got pew pewed in the neck. But if you agreed or disagreed with him, you still have the freedom to say horrible things about him, which I don't agree with, right? But just on the fact that you can do that and someone's going to get so angry that they're going to report it and send it to your employer just shows that it's very hostile and you can't even have like an opinion on it, right? Rather, I know it's in bad taste to say that, but seriously, man, like that's the thing. If you express your opinion too hard on online, if you're raging, someone's gonna report it to your job. And obviously, I know comments like that, especially with what happened to him, were in extremely bad taste. But I was just saying that's an extreme example. Even if you disagree with something, a topic that's way lower, you can still get in trouble. Someone could still send it to your employer and shit, right? Like that girl on social media named Kylie Brewer, I saw her all the time. It's her whole life. I literally saw a video where she was shaming people into not wanting to, like, she's like something like, oh, if you don't if not engaging in politics is something about white supremacy or some shit like that. It was so stupid. Like,
So if you don't care about politics, you're a bad person. Not just right now with ICE tearing apart families, brutalizing people, and kidnapping them, but historically, this has always been the case in America. Some demographic of people has always been targeted, and that is why politics are so important. This just shows that white people view politics as some abstract philosophy that they can debate over and not like actually affecting them because their privilege shields them from needing to care almost any policy they can get around as long as they have money or they're white skin. From slavery to the mass deportation of migrants to rounding Native Americans up and forcing them to walk westward, killing thousands of them in the process, to in Japanese internment camp. America has always systematically people of color, different demographics at different times in history, but this has always been an issue, especially now. Well, I just don't really care. You don't even have an excuse anymore. Like, it's not like your history textbook isn't showing you the full picture because it was written by white people. You have the news. You can see these videos on your phone. You see it and you still don't care. That makes you a bad person.
Well, I guess I'm a bad person then. But yeah, I misquoted her. Sorry. She wasn't talking about white supremacy. It was just basically saying you're a bad person. But she talks about white supremacy a lot. And if you go through her page, you can really just see how miserable she is because she's just always focused on trying to solve these problems, always being like, oh my gosh, this white person's bad, or white supremacy this, or POC this, or just like these weird ass topics that she likes to just engage in. She just has so many things that she talks about. She talks about like how World War II, white women and black men, and she's kind of like dug a hole for herself because people have been like doing, I don't know, you gotta watch her page. People have been making like deep fakes about her, harassing her. She's gotten death threats just because of her political opinion. And even though I mean, I'm sure if I scroll through her page, I would highly just really disagree with some of the stuff she says, but I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm not gonna argue with her. But I'm just saying she has these very strong opinions. Okay, this is America. She's allowed to have those opinions, but she's getting death threats. She's probably getting doxxed and all that stuff, which is not okay because although she might be very annoying, even if she is, she's allowed to have those opinions. You know what I mean? And look at her; she's getting doxxed, unfortunately, because no one deserves that. I don't know, man. Just remember, if you decide to disengage in politics, it's not really, think about it, in the grand scheme of things, dude, someone else is going to pick up the slack for you, seriously. And it's a lot stress free because when you go to, like, when you meet, say you meet your girlfriend's family or something, or someone, for example, my sister, she got married, so now I have a bunch of in-laws, and that's one of the things where if I have to spend Thanksgiving with them and they ask, like, politics comes up or whatever, I'm free from that conversation, okay? That's the one thing where it's not going to get bottlenecked. I'm not going to get trapped because I'm going to say, I don't care. I don't vote. I don't care. I don't like any of the candidates. Just leave me alone away from that stuff. I think it really comes down to shut the fuck up, vote. But people want to say what they want to say online. I'm just saying this worked for me, and kind of staying away from politics has just made my life way more stress free. I mean, you can say whatever the fuck you want, or you can just be like me and just not care. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, peace.